Hi everyone. Welcome back to Slow English Channel. Today, we're going to explore something delicious. How to describe taste and flavor in English.
I like that already. Talking about food always makes me hungry. So, Emily, what made you pick this topic today?
Well, think about it. We eat every single day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. But many learners only know delicious or yummy. That's not enough, right?
Exactly. When someone asks, "How does it taste?" we often say, "It's good." But there's a whole world of flavor words waiting to be discovered.
Yes, and describing taste is not just about food. It helps you sound natural when talking to friends, at a restaurant, or even in cooking shows.
So today, we'll help our listeners find better words, so next time they taste something, they can say more than just nice.
Let's start with a scene. You're sitting in a small cafe. The smell of fresh bread fills the air. You take a bite of a warm croissant. What do you say?
I'd say it's buttery and flaky. That means it has a soft, rich taste and breaks nicely when you bite it.
Perfect. Buttery, flaky, crispy, creamy. These are texture and flavor words. Let's go through some useful ones.
Okay, here's a classic. Sweet. That's for sugar, desserts, or fruit. Example: this cake is sweet, but not too sugary.
Then we have salty, like chips or pretzels. The popcorn is too salty. Easy, right?
Spicy means full of strong, hot flavor. Thai food is spicy, but delicious.
And sour, that sharp taste, like lemon or yogurt. This lemonade is too sour for me.
Don't forget about bitter. Coffee, dark chocolate, or some vegetables can taste bitter.
Yes, and there's a fancy one, savory. It means flavorful, not sweet. For example, I prefer savory snacks, like fries or pizza.
Nice. And we can mix these adjectives too. The soup is warm, savory, and comforting. That sounds cozy.
Now, let's play a quick mini quiz. I'll describe something, and you tell me the word. Ready?
Let's go.
A flavor that burns your tongue a little, like chili.
Spicy.
Good. Something that makes your lips twist, like lemon juice.
Sour.
Perfect. Now, something that makes you say, ah, because it's so comforting, like warm soup on a rainy day.
Savory or maybe comforting.
Both work. Well done. See, describing taste helps you connect emotion and language.
Yes, because taste is not just about the tongue. It's about memory too. A flavor can take you back to childhood or remind you of someone you love.
Exactly. Like when I smell cinnamon, I think of my grandmother's cookies. That warm, sweet smell feels like home.
That's beautiful. So let's teach a few emotional expressions too. It tastes like home, or it reminds me of my childhood.
Perfect for storytelling. Now, let's go deeper into describing food in restaurants, because that's where learners usually need help.
Yes, you order something new, and the waiter asks, "How's your food?" You freeze. You want to say something natural, not just good.
Right. So here are some sentences you can use. The chicken is tender and juicy. That means it's soft and full of flavor.
The soup has a rich, creamy taste. That's nice for Western food.
Or, the salad tastes fresh and light. Great for something healthy.
When something is too much, say, it's too oily or too salty. That's polite feedback.
Yes, and instead of saying bad, use phrases like, it's not really my taste, or it's a bit too strong for me.
That sounds polite and natural. It shows confidence without sounding rude.
Exactly. Confidence in small words builds big progress in English.
I like that. Confidence in small words. Maybe I will write that on a poster.
Maybe I will. Okay, let's talk about some advanced taste words. Still easy to learn.
Sure. I've heard umami. What does that mean exactly?
Good question. Umami is a Japanese word for the rich, deep taste found in meat, mushrooms, or soy sauce. It's that wow flavor you can't describe as sweet or salty.
So, like, this ramen has a strong umami flavor.
Perfect sentence. Another good one is tangy. It's like a mix of sweet and sour. For example, this sauce is tangy and fresh.
Ooh, I like that word. It sounds musical. Tangy.
Right? Words for flavor can sound like the feeling itself. Crunchy, chewy, smooth, creamy. You can almost hear the sound or feel the texture.
That's true. Crunchy apples. Chewy cookies. It's like language for your senses.
Exactly. Let's do a quick repeat after me for our listeners.
All right, friends, say it with us. Crunchy.
Creamy,
Savory.
sweet and sour.
Bitter but delicious.
Good job. You're training your tongue, not just for speaking, but for tasting words too.
That's a funny way to say it, but true. The more you describe, the better your memory of words becomes.
Yes, that's the magic of sensory learning. When you connect English to what you feel, smell, or taste, the words stay longer in your brain.
So next time you eat something, don't just eat. Think. How does it taste? What does it remind you of?
That's your real practice moment. Because English isn't only in books. It's in your daily bite, your morning coffee, your favorite meal.
Exactly. Speaking of coffee, how would you describe yours right now?
Strong, smooth, a little bitter, and perfect for today's talk.
Nice. Mine tastes like motivation and deadlines.
I think every teacher knows that flavor.
All right, Emily, before we move on, can we add a little vocabulary spotlight?
Of course. Charlotte's section. Let's do it.
All right. Word 1. Tangy, meaning pleasantly sharp or zippy. Synonym, zippy. Example, the salad dressing is tangy and bright.
Word 2. Bland, meaning lacking strong flavor. Synonym, plain. Example, this soup is bland. It needs more salt.
Word 3. Tender, meaning soft and easy to bite. Synonym, gentle. Example, the steak is tender and juicy.
Excellent. These words help you sound natural and confident when talking about food.
And remember, friends, you don't have to learn everything at once. Even one new phrase can change how you speak.
Yes, the goal is progress, not perfection. Step by step, word by word. So, shall we move to our next part? Describing flavor in emotions and culture?
Absolutely. That's where food and language become one story.
Let's start with something interesting, Paul. Have you noticed that in many cultures, taste connects deeply to emotions?
Yes, totally. For example, when people say sweet memories, they're not talking about sugar. They mean something warm, gentle, and full of love.
Exactly. Words about flavor can describe feelings too. That moment was bitter. Her smile was sweet. The truth has a sour taste.
I like that connection. It shows that learning to describe taste helps you express your emotions better in English.
Yes, language grows richer when it touches both the tongue and the heart.
So, Emily, let's take our listeners to a real moment again. You're at a small street food market at night. Lights are glowing. The air smells of grilled meat and spices.
You take a bite. It's smoky, spicy, juicy. The kind of food that wakes your soul. That's how you describe food that feels alive.
Smoky. That's a great word. It means food cooked over fire, giving it a dark, warm flavor. Example, I love smoky barbecue.
Yes, and when something tastes a little burned, but still nice, we say charred. Like, the bread is charred on the edges, but still soft inside.
That's perfect. Let's keep adding more flavor words. How about zesty?
Good one. Zesty means fresh and full of energy, like lemon or herbs. The pasta has a zesty sauce.
And buttery gives a smooth, rich taste, often used for pastries. These cookies are buttery and soft.
Now, let's help our listeners practice politely describing food they don't like, because that's tricky.
Yes, instead of saying, I hate this, you can say, it's not really to my taste.
Or, it's a bit too strong for me. That sounds polite and natural.
Another nice phrase, I prefer something lighter.
Good one. And if you love something, say it's full of flavor or it's bursting with taste.
Let's teach a few idioms too. I love this part.
Sure. Idiom 1. A taste of your own medicine. It means experiencing what you did to someone else, usually something unpleasant.
Idiom 2. To have good taste. That means you like quality things, not just food, but style or art too.
Idiom 3. Leave a bad taste in my mouth. It means something left you feeling uncomfortable or unhappy.
Wow. So, taste is not just for eating. It's for emotions, choices, and even people.
Exactly. That's why learning flavor words is not just vocabulary. It's learning how to feel and express more in English.
Beautifully said. Now let's invite our listeners to practice.
All right, friends, repeat aloud with us. This soup tastes savory and rich.
The mango is sweet and juicy.
The coffee is bitter but strong.
The sauce is tangy and fresh.
The bread is warm and buttery.
Perfect. You're not only learning English, you're painting pictures with words.
Yes, when you can describe taste, your stories become alive. You can make people smell the coffee or feel the crunch.
And that's what great communication is, helping others feel what you feel.
Exactly. That's why I always tell my students, don't focus on being perfect. Focus on being expressive.
I love that. Even simple words can touch hearts if you say them with feeling.
Right. Language is like cooking. You don't need many ingredients. You just need love, patience, and practice.
That's a tasty metaphor.
It is. And for our listeners, remember this. When you speak English, every word you say adds flavor to your personality.
Yes, your accent, your mistakes, your laughter, all part of your unique recipe.
So don't be afraid to speak. Even if your words are simple, they can be full of meaning.
Let's end with a little motivation. Emily style.
Sure. Friends, even if you remember just one phrase today, maybe tangy, savory, or bitter but good, you're already growing.
Learning English is like tasting new food. The more you try, the more you enjoy.
Yes, and sometimes you'll get something too spicy, sometimes too bland, but every taste teaches you something new.
That's beautiful. Let's call that the flavor of learning.
I love that. So, dear listeners, what flavor are you learning today? Sweet like confidence? Spicy like courage?
Leave a comment below and tell us one phrase you'll use today.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Slow English Channel, your daily flavor of learning and joy.
Until next time, keep tasting words, keep speaking with heart.
And remember, done is always better than perfect.
See you soon, friends. Stay sweet, stay curious, and stay learning.